And for more analysis, let's turn now to Joseph Williams. He's a former senior news editor at U.S. News and World Report. Joseph, I want to get your reaction to what is happening inside that hearing so far. What has stood out to you?
The biggest thing that has stood out for me is the 187 minutes has been the key number. You can't even get out of your head, but that's a stretch of nearly 3.5 hours where the president allowed people to desecrate the Capitol, come in, adamantly refused to lift a finger to help. The striking testimony has also been the fact that many people, including his chief of staff, also encouraged him not to act or did nothing, while a number of staffers were frantically trying to encourage him to do something, anything, to save the loss of life. Also, the fact that it's been widely documented that this was a premeditated act, and this is becoming more and more clear with every testimony that they present, with every witness that testifies. It becomes more clear that Donald Trump knew what he was doing. So it's very shocking that a president would actually go through this, let alone plan it and then try to execute it in front of the whole world while the whole world was watching.
We're about an hour in. They have just taken a short recess, so we expect them to come back to finish. Any bombshells expected in this hearing? Explain for us the significance of what we've been hearing so far, as you mentioned, minute by minute. And do you think this will close the case around the former president?
Minute by minute, the detail has been incredible. They've done an amazing job. Your reporter Nathan King talked about how this is almost cinematic. It's like the plot of The Wire or some high-quality TV show. They've done an excellent job of presenting the TikTok, as we call it in the journalism trade, about what happened minute by minute, comparing it with crosscuts to what's going on at the Capitol, comparing it to what's happening inside the White House. So it's been very fascinating to see the minute detail that they're prosecuting this case, which is exactly what they're doing. They're trying to hand evidence to Merrick Garland on a silver platter. But the thing that has stood out to me most has been the fact that we've had a Secret Service detail that's going to testify. I mean, that's, to me, has been the biggest bombshell, is that the Secret Service has several Secret Service agents have obtained private representation. Now, as you recall, this is the Secret Service that did not turn over any phone records because they accidentally deleted them in a switch of services. But now some of the Secret Service details that were around the president are lawyering up. And that's never a good sign for them, and possibly a boon of more information for the committee.
What will happen next? Will we hear from more people? As we heard earlier, Representative Liz Cheney said that this will not end up being the last hearing after all.
No, it won't be the last hearing after all. And you asked earlier about whether or not the noose is tightening around the president. It's hard to say whether or not this is going to be the last shoe to drop. Certainly, Liz Cheney indicates that it's not going to be. And the fact that they said that the dam has broken indicates that there's going to be a tranche more of evidence. There's going to be so many more people testifying about what they heard, saw, and did that day, and what President Trump heard, saw, and didn't do that day. So it's likely that we're going to get a stronger case against President Trump. Whether or not that's going to result in prosecution, we don't know. Again, as your reporter Nathan King said, it's a very difficult case. How are you going to try a former president who commands such loyalty? It's going to be very difficult to bring that to a court and try to win, much less see it in an impartial jury. But the facts are the facts, and the facts are very damning to this point.
Well, to add to that, Joseph, I mean, there is a lot going on in this country between higher prices, inflation, and what's happening abroad as well. So is there an appetite among Americans to see Donald Trump prosecuted and possibly behind bars? Could that happen? And what's the appetite for that?
The appetite, I would guess, would not necessarily be that strong. I mean, however, we do have polling evidence that indicates a majority of the American people are tuning in. Republicans far less than Democrats, but Democrats certainly are tuning in, and a larger share of Republicans are tuning in than had indicated at first. I think the percentage is right around 45, 46%. So a clear plurality of the nation is paying attention here. Whether or not that's going to result in people cheerleading Merrick Garland to have Donald Trump in leg irons remains to be seen. It's very difficult. You'll recall Richard Nixon was given a pardon mainly because they wanted to preserve the unity of the nation and not have a polarizing trial against a man who very clearly committed crimes and was named an unindicted co-conspirator. Here, Donald Trump's got legal troubles from here to tomorrow, and it's not going to end anytime soon. But getting him on trial and in the docks It's going to be difficult. It's going to be polarizing. Whether or not we want to go there remains to be seen, but we still know that no person is above the law.
All right, to be continued. Joseph Williams, thank you so much for joining us. We appreciate it.
My pleasure.